Hello everybody and welcome again to a new video. Now today we are back at one of my favorite places to visit. This is Historic Auto Attractions Museum in Roscoe, Illinois. And I showed you a few months back some JFK relics and parts of a JFK exhibit. Now this exhibit has gotten significantly larger, as you can see behind me. There's a lot more things that are going to be coming in, but I'm going to show you a lot of different things that I haven't shown you in previous videos. Different artifacts that belong to JFK and his family, and a lot of other interesting things. So let's go take a look and see what we can find. Now this is very unusual and something you're not going to see anywhere else, or at least I've never seen one. Here's some various photos of different presidents and memorable moments on Air Force One. Now, it's very rare that you can actually get a good look at Air Force One, but this is a model of what Air Force One looks like. And as you can see, they have this kind of glassed over so you can see what some of it looks like. Now, Air Force One is designed to carry a lot of people that are important to the president, press members, staffers, family, but there is a lot of office space, and the president can basically do anything that they need to do to keep the country safe, or a lot of interesting ways that presidents can keep in contact with others. It's quite an aircraft, but this is kind of a look of what how things would look in there. Now I did show this in a previous video, but it's important enough to show it again if you haven't seen it. These are the rosary beads that were carried by the priest used to administer the last rites of President Kennedy at Parkland Hospital. These belong to Father James N. Thompson. There's a little bit of information if you want to pause it and read it. But that is quite a piece of history right here. And just over here, this is a funerary cross, which also belonged to Father Thompson. A little bit of information there. This is a really interesting exhibit here. Now this right here in the middle of the screen, this is JFK Jr.'s children's Navy suit. Where do you really get a chance to see this kind of stuff? Here's some other items from the Kennedys. Here's Jackie Kennedy's jacket. And she really had class and style. Here's Carolyn Kennedy's Easter egg suit right here. JFK Jr.'s riding suit. And Jackie Kennedy's maternity suit, or maternity outfit. And an Oleg Cassini mink top. Oleg Cassini was a pretty famous designer. Seemed to do a lot of Jackie's clothing. Speaking of Jackie's clothing, here is the necklace that was worn on this Life magazine cover. And here's a few more outfits of Jackie O. I believe these were all Oleg Cassini outfits. Sorry if you can see me in there. But she really had style. And when people think of classy first ladies, usually they think of Jackie. These are all outfits that were owned by Jackie. This is quite a display of outfits. Here's some upholstery from the famous car that was taking JFK in that motorcade that morning, November 22nd, 1963. Some of that upholstery still exists, and it's been cut up into patches. They redid the car, and now that original car, it was used by other presidents after the fact, but that car is now at the Ford Museum in Dearborn, Michigan. But they have a piece of the original upholstery from the Kennedy car. Here's the ambulance that took Lee Harvey Oswald to Parkland Hospital from the police station after he was shot by Jack Ruby. And hopefully you can hear me okay. There's a bunch of documentaries going on at once in here. But this is the original ONeal Ambulance. It's neat just to be able to see history. Take a look at this. Now, nobody knows for sure, but it is very possible that Lee Harvey Oswald took his final breaths right in here. There's a picture of him being loaded in the back of this exact ambulance. It's pretty amazing. Oswald was arrested by a man named Nick McDonald, and this is the uniform that Nick McDonald wore. This is his Dallas police uniform. And this is Jack Ruby's suit jacket. I just can't seem to get out of the way in the reflections. Sorry about that. Here's some more Jackie Kennedy items. Here's some of her gloves and her shoes. A few more of her shoes. And a hat. And down here's some perfume items, fan, her hairbrush, fingernail file. A lot of odds and ends, different types of things that belong to Jackie Kennedy. Dress purse. Some interesting items here. New display coming soon. Once we find out what that is, maybe we'll give you a sneak peek of it. And over here we have, boy, that is snazzy. Right next to JFK's Suits. This is a suit that was worn during JFK's presidency. Right next to the suit that he wore during his time in the Senate. Kennedy was pretty classy. He was a sharp dresser, and they were a power couple. People loved the Kennedys for the most part. Here's some of the old political campaign hats. Some of them were made out of paper, some were made out of plastic. One way or the other, you're not going to see people wearing these today. It's kind of a fashion statement of the past. Up here they have a Kennedy 5-cent stamp and a little piece of JFK's hair. A lot of people used to collect hair back in the day. It's a very small sample if you can see it in there. A piece of JFK's hair. Here's some items. Air Force One co-pilot. Instrument certificates. And we just have some Air Force One items, bags and whatnot. JFK's Lord Elgin watch he wore to the inauguration ball. That is really cool. Right next to a business card and a dead fly. That's part of the display there. I'm sure not purposefully, but things happen. JFK's shoes, used during the years he was Senator of Massachusetts. How cool is that? And there's a commemorative plate. JFK at the Capitol. And a Coffee with Kennedy cup used by Kennedy, 1960. It says JFK drank from this beige Java-stained Coffee with Kennedy paper cup during one of his many early campaign breakfast forays in the state of Maryland. And another fly there. Now this is one of the more interesting things that I think they have here. This is a piece of JFK's birthday cake. Now if you remember the famous event that took place in Madison Square Garden in May of 1962, where Marilyn Monroe sang "Happy Birthday, Mr. President," that was the event this was from. This is a piece of the original cake. Now, this was preserved by a New York City police officer. Sorry about that. I had a little tickle in my throat and had to cough. Didn't want to do it on camera. But this is a piece of JFK's birthday cake, and this was preserved by a New York City police officer. And the story of this was he hung on to this for the rest of his life. When he passed away, his wife sold this through, I think, Heritage Auctions, and I believe this sold for around $5,000 to the museum here at Historic Auto Attractions. And that's the owner right here, who hopefully we'll talk to at some point soon in this channel. But he actually tasted this. Now, leave me a message in the comments. Would you taste this today? 62-year-old birthday cake. Would you give that a try? I don't think I could. Not too far away from where we're at is Rockford, Illinois. And this is a picture of JFK cruising down a local street here on his way to a place called the Coronado Theater, which is a really neat historic theater in Rockford, Illinois. If you're from the area, I'm sure you've seen plenty of shows there, but JFK spoke there in 1960. That was one of the sadder days in American history. But this right here is a printing plate, if you can see that. So printing plate was used to print the front page of the Dallas Morning newspaper on November 23rd, 1963. The headline reads, "Kennedy slain on Dallas Street." Said the plate had been stored away in a wooden crate since the printing of the paper, and this is the first time this very rare plate has been seen by the public in over 40 years. Right next to that is a piece of the grassy knoll fence. And I'm sure you've heard that theory, but we're not really getting into conspiracy theories or anything like this on this video, but feel free to leave comments. I'm sure people will anyway. But still an interesting piece of history. Well, that's pretty much all I have for you for today, but I thought I would close off the video by showing you this. The president after Kennedy was obviously Lyndon Johnson. This was his suit and a couple of his personal hats and his watch, keychain, and his glasses. That's some pretty interesting stuff. Here was a couple of dresses from Lady Bird. But I will show you a lot of other things from this museum coming up in the future, and I've done quite a bit in the past. But if this is your first time here, be sure to hit that subscribe button, check out our past videos, and check out all the new videos that come out. Pretty much once or twice a week we have a new video. But thanks so much for watching, and we'll catch you on the next video. Take care, everybody.